What would the world be without the simple pleasure of sweet? On today's menu, at the center of ceremonies, celebrations, rituals, and best of all, dessert. The taste of sweet is a delicious indulgence enjoyed by cultures across the globe. A Shanghai specialty becomes the stuff of legends.
The story goes that this very good official in the government cut all of the meat into very small pieces and distribute it to all the people.
The food of the gods in southern India.
Ganesh says he is very fond of sweets. And that little pot belly also makes him very special.
Maple syrup you wouldn't dare waste on pancakes.
It sounds totally weird to add sweet maple syrup over fish roe.
The delectable sweetness of a Moroccan tea ceremony.
Moroccans are famous for having a sweet tooth. They love sugar in everything.
Unwrapping one of Vietnam's most beloved confections.
Dongpo 它是杭州的一个官。
Dongpo is based on a story of an official from Hangzhou. His name was Su Dongpo, and he was known for being very kind to the people.
他们在造那个
Every year, people, because he was a high official, would give him gifts of meat. And meat, of course, at that time was a rarity. You have to be wealthy to enjoy it.
Sweet doesn't always mean dessert, and sugar doesn't only flavor candies and cakes. Many of the world's great dishes derive their flavor from the rich mixing of savory and sweet, and this Chinese dish is no exception. Dongpo Ro, a rich sugar and wine soaked cube of pork, literally means the meat of Dongpo, a Chinese poet and official whose dish caused a great misunderstanding and led to his ultimate downfall. Such is the stuff of legends, as Chef Anthony Zhao and his wife, food writer Crystal Mo, recount at Zhang Zhangji restaurant in Shanghai.
This is a very famous restaurant, which is like a flagship in Shanghai.
So here we have raw pork belly. This is the pig skin on top.
The skin must be very clean.
Must be very clean.
Dongpo 肉也是古代的一个。
So the story goes that this very good official in the government took all of the gifts of meat and cut them into very small pieces and distributed it to all the people, creating Dongpo Ro.
非常恨他，要吃他的肉。
These are the layers. This was the skin, then the lean meat, then fat, lean meat, more fat, and then finally more lean meat. Now they're packing all the meat in there. We've got a layer of fresh ginger and then a layer of scallions. Beautiful. Yummy. So then he's just adding a lot of sugar. Wow.
Lot of sugar.
Yeah.
对，然后那个盖子，中国的黄酒。
Oh, this is very important. This is the Chinese yellow wine. It's a very intense flavor, somewhat similar to sherry, right?
对。
And what is this?
这个是酱油。
The dark soy sauce. Now, this dish would be put on to a flame for about 2.5 hours.
每个工人尝了以后都觉得非常好吃。
The story of Su Dongpo's dish is very sad in the end. It became very popular and it was on a restaurant menu. So because he was a high official, Su Dongpo's name was on it as well as the inventor of Dongpo Ro.
All right, so there it is. It's beautiful, so glossy, fragrant.
It's very good. 所以他想，哦，是不是当地人非常恨他？
When an official from the emperor came to eat at this restaurant, he saw Su Dongpo's name on the menu. And he mistook this as meaning that the people of this area hated him and were saying we're eating his body. And so he went back and reported to the emperor that this must be a very corrupt and evil politician.
对，因为他放了很多ginger。
It's so rich, it's very sweet. It's almost like a caramely flavor on the skin. And then the fat really melts in your mouth.
Yeah.
The emperor relieved Su Dongpo of his duties in the end, and he lost his official position because of this dish. But all of us are enjoying it now.
I come from a family where food was something divine. A lot of people dined in our house and guests were made to feel very special. My name is Sabita Radhakrishna and I'm from Chennai, India.
The food of choice for the gods of ancient Greece was ambrosia, a divinely sweet nectar. And judging from the tastes of the Hindu deities of India, one thing is clear: the gods have a sweet tooth. Food writer Sabita Radhakrishna and her friends visit a local tiffin shop in the east coast town of Chennai, India, to partake of the various sweet treats. Tiffin encompasses snacks from both the sweet and savory, but today the focus is on the rich goodies favored by both mortal and immortal alike.
We have this place called Ananda Bhavan where they specialize in sweets and snacks called tiffin.
Tiffin places are very common in India, and the south boasts of such a range.
We have so many varieties of tiffin.
And the variations are what makes the South Indian tiffin so interesting. Here we are getting all the goodies now.
Tiffin, it is a Tamilian word for breakfast.
Yummy.
It's not unlike dim sum in China. I think you can liken it to the tapas in Spain.
It is a snack.
Slowly it is disappearing.
It is disappearing because people are more conscious of their waistlines. Okay, come, let's taste. Very nice.
We had the traditional sweets.
Here we have sweet appam. It's shallow fried. This is the sweet poli, sweet kolokattai. It's made with hand-pounded red rice, and this is made with regular rice and filled with coconut.
They are stuffed with succulent coconut and lentil korakata, which we serve for Ganesh Chaturthi.
Ganesh Chaturthi.
Ganesh Chaturthi. Ganesh in Hindu mythology is the darling of the gods, and he's so cute that all of us love him.
Ganesh is my favorite deity. He is very fond of sweets, like most people.
And that little pot belly also makes him very special.
And this particular sweet, he likes this korakata very much.
It's supposed to be his favorite sweet.
Ganesha is clearing all the obstacles.
So we have to please him that day and give him all these things.
So however tired we are, on that festival day, we put forth a tray of korakatas for him.
Ganesha, please bless us.
Lord Ganesh. He is the son of Lord Shiva and Parvati. We have this festival called the Nombu festival. It is very important in a married woman's life. Parvati, the mother goddess to whom we offer our prayers, we give her special offerings called adarsams.
We cook jaggery with a little bit of water, and then when it is just right, you put rice flour and keep on stirring it till it becomes really thick. And that has to be done right. There are people who have wept if it doesn't come out right. Yeah. Then pat it and deep fried in ghee.
Legend has it, Lord Shiva was poisoned. So his wife, she held him by the throat.
So Parvati comes and
Holds the throat to prevent the poison from going down.
Then only he is known as
Neelakanta. Neelakanta is the blue throat. For 21 days she's supposed to have held his neck.
21 days, can you imagine a wife holding her husband's throat, not intending to strangle him?
So this is actually a feast done for the protection of the husband and for the family. So women, please note, don't strangle your husband, but make him adarsam. Look after him and protect him.
Blease is a fine artisanal food maker. And one of their creations is a bourbon barrel-aged maple syrup. They're really elevating that already delicious product into something that's richer and deeper and gives chefs another flavor in their palate. I'm Louisa Chu, and I'm a chef and a food writer.
Blease in Grand Rapids, Michigan is the brainchild of Steve Stallard, a Michelin-starred chef with 20 years of experience. Stallard has developed a whole line of products to inspire chefs to experiment, but it's his bourbon barrel-infused maple syrup that hits the sweet spot. It all started with the desire to create an all-natural product that marries the smoky flavor of bourbon with the delicious sweet of maple syrup. The result? A flavor component that eclipses anything you might have poured on a pancake.
These are bourbon casks from Kentucky. They're empty, and they previously aged bourbon whiskey. There's so much flavor of the bourbon whiskey that is still imparted in the wood that it imparts and infuses the flavor into the maple syrup. It smells really good when you do that.
This is empty.
Empty.
Okay, because I can really still smell the aroma of the bourbon. Is there anything else in there?
Yes, they put a lot of charcoal chips in each barrel to smooth it and to speed up its aging process and give it more color.
Okay, and you're gonna leave all that in?
I leave it all in there. Each of the pieces of charcoal are saturated with whiskey and ages it all the way through. We're gonna pump the organic syrup directly into this barrel.
Oh wow, looks just like motor oil flowing from the can.
A lot of the traditionalists think I'm ruining the perfect elements of maple syrup.
So in the traditional world of classic sweet maple syrup, you're a blasphemizer.
I've been called that more than once. I say I'm just gently enhancing the flavor. And this will rest for a year or more.
So how do you know when it's ready?
Some age a little faster than others, so each barrel has to be individually tasted. This one, I believe, is ready to go.
That's gorgeous. You can really see some charcoal bits.
Yeah.
Wow, you really taste that infusion of the bourbon that's in there. Who does all of this beautiful packaging, the labeling and the wax?
I do.
How many bottles do you make?
We do less than 6,000 per year.
That's like a fine wine production.
We sell everything we have, and if we run out, we run out. So let's take a couple of these with us, and we'll start doing some cooking.
Great. So I know that when you come into the kitchen and test out your products, that it's not only for desserts.
We try to push the envelope on sweet. So sweet doesn't stay strictly with desserts. These are local new potatoes, organic. This is a wild steelhead roll that's been smoked. And we're gonna put this right over top of the crispy hash brown. And then we just pour this syrup right over the top of it.
It sounds totally weird to add, sweet maple syrup over a salty fish roe. It doesn't sound like it'd be anything good, to be quite honest. That's ridiculously good.
You like it?
No, I love it. It's so incredibly delicious.
Thank you.
That is amazing. Never would have thought that caviar and maple syrup would have gone together.
Here we have whole foie gras. We're going to roast this in a pan with aromatics, and it's going to be basted and glazed with our syrup. This is a spice blend. It's rose petal, cumin, and ground thyme. This is a squaw breast that we're going to serve with the foie gras.
What's the idea of pairing foie gras with the maple syrup?
Foie gras and sweet is just magnificent together. It's just like candy.
It just browns in no time.
Well, our aromatics are going to be bay leaf, thyme, and sage.
What are you adding there?
Maple syrup.
Okay.
This is a squaw breast.
That is stunning.
A little more maple syrup. So we're just going to slice off a little piece of foie gras, put it over the confit of tart apple and rhubarb, and serve it with a slice of squaw breast.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Let's try.
It's just so soft and tender. That is so good. So again, they can take sweet out of simply the world of desserts, but really making the sweet elements just as full and rich as any of the other classic aromatic ingredients that are going to savory dishes.
Moroccans are famous for having a sweet tooth. They love sugar in everything. My name is Hamza Bouzouzou, and we are here in Marrakesh, which is one of the most beautiful cities in Morocco. Today we are here to see a traditional Moroccan tea ceremony and also the preparation of pastries and cookies as well.
In Morocco, sugar is considered a symbol of both prosperity and luck, and sweets are included in nearly every traditional ceremony. Almost all of Morocco's sugar comes from sugarcane and is often formed into cones, making it easier to transport over mountains and deserts. Hotel du Tour, Chef Mohammed Anziz prepares a Moroccan specialty to be enjoyed with another sweet local custom, the tea ceremony.
Chef Mohammed is going to prepare us a famous Moroccan dessert called kab ghzal, which means the hooves of gazelle, because the shape of the pastry looks just like the hoof of an animal. Orange water is used a lot in pastries, which gives this really beautiful aroma and flavor. The orange water is extracted from the blossoms of the orange tree, and it's a tradition in Moroccan houses to always have it at home because it's used a lot in cooking as well as medicine. The gazelle is one of the most beautiful animals found in the Arabic Peninsula. Arab poets have always used it in their poetry. So when you want to call a woman beautiful, you just tell her you are a gazelle. This is the filling that's going to go inside the dough. It's made from almonds that have been boiled and peeled and then ground. Now he's rolling the paste, he's making these little sticks, and that's what will go inside the dough. Very sweet, and also you can taste cinnamon. There are 3 or 4 characteristics of a good gazelle. Number 1 is to have a very fine dough. Number 2, make it look like a crescent. Number 3 is to have an edge on the top. And the 4th thing is to be soft when you eat it. Now, to make tea, you need to put some green tea leaves in the teapot. Add water. Just before serving it, you add the mint. And of course, spearmint has a sweeter flavor than ordinary mint. Sugar comes in a 2-kilo cone, and it's very important for the person serving tea to break the cone in front of everybody. That means he is very happy to receive his guests. Moroccans love to use a lot of sugar. Now, when you are pouring the tea, you have to make sure that you raise the teapot as high as possible, and that's to have the foam. Some people will not drink it without foam because they say that the taste changes totally. Tea is not only a drink, but it's actually a show of hospitality and friendship. Corns of gazelle are delicious. You can see that the dough is very crunchy, but the inside is very soft. So you can actually enjoy both textures at the same time. The sweeter, the better. That's what Moroccans believe.
We are traveling by boat through the jungles of the Mekong Delta to the town of Ban Chea, 40 miles south of Saigon, Vietnam. My name is Le Tan Thuy, and I'm going to be trying coconut candy, something Ban Chea has been famous for many generations. It is an industry much of the town participates in, from the elders to the very young.
When entering the lush province of Ban Chea, you can't help but notice the abundance of coconut trees. Here, coconut candy is not just a delicious confection, it is a livelihood of the people. Made individually by hand, the sticky sweetness of this coconut candy is not made anywhere else in Vietnam.
Mr. Phak is the owner of the coconut candy factory. The first step, they skin the coconut. The steak is called cai nam in Vietnamese.
Buồn ăn là ăn xin chi rơm dừa, rồi đưa vô máy để bào.
They press the coconut shavings. The first press comes the coconut milk. The second press comes the coconut oil. In a large wok, they mix the coconut milk with a little sugar and a malt derived from sweet, sticky rice. With the coconut, nothing goes to waste.
After 45 minutes, they put the coconut candies on the table, put it into strips and cut it into small pieces of candies.
It's just a little sweet, but very delicious. You can taste the coconut. It has a warm, smoky honey flavor. They wrap the candy in rice paper. Because the candy is so sticky, we eat the rice paper along with the candy. The rice paper melts in your mouth. And again, as nothing goes to waste, they even use the coconut oil for the fire to seal the packages. Coconut candy is unique to Banchea, and the community exports the product all over the world.